The other part we're going to work with today is kind of the reversal, where they're going to go ahead and give us a slope that they would like us to create, and they're going to ask us to draw the line for that. So you're going to need a straight edge for this, and we're going to go ahead and work through a slope. So remember that anytime you work with a whole number, the slope, that number is always going to be over 1. So for example, here for A, and this is in your practice journal book, I think it's page 30. So you guys can just work out of page 30 as you're working through this. If I write this out, it would be the same as 2 over 1. Now, that's a positive 2 over 1. So the key thing when you're writing or drawing the lines for a slope is if it's positive, if you have a positive slope, you're going to go up from the point because you're going up in a positive direction. If it is a negative slope, you're going to drop down that number. So here I have a 2 over 1, and it's a positive 2 over 1. So I'm going to go from my black dot, I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, and no matter what, I'm always going to go to the right. The only time that I will make the exception of not going to the right is if my graph isn't big enough. So I'm going to go to the right 1 spot. So my rise was 2, and my run is going to be 1. So my new dot for the black is right there. Okay, so I'm going to try really hard to erase this so that it's not in the way, which of course then I erased my dot. So there's my dot for the black. So now I'm going to go ahead, take my straight edge, which I have a line, but you guys are going to use your straight edge, and I'm going to cut through this and extend that all the way through. So there's my slope of my line. It's not perfect, but we'll try. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with that lighter gray. So I'm going to rise up 2, and I'm going to go to the right 1. So up 2, 1, 2, over 1 is going to put me right here. And I'm going to go ahead and, once again, connect it with a line. Okay, and what do you notice about those two lines? They're parallel to each other, and they're never going to run into each other. So if you have two lines that have the same slope, both of those slopes are parallel. They're never going to run into each other. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another one of these. Just going to shift those off to the side. So this time I have a slope of a negative 1/2. So this is where this part is important, is understanding that if it's negative, we're going to go down. The only time we're not going to do that is if our graph is not big enough. So from the black dot, I'm going to go down 1 because that was my rise. And I know you guys are used to doing rise, but in this case, because it's a negative, we're going to drop down. So we're that up, down, we're going to go down 1, but we're still going to go to the right 2. So down 1 to the right 2 is going to put me right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw my line through that. Goodness. That was a really, really bad one. Okay, so there's my line. So now I'm going to do the same thing with that lighter gray. So I'm going to go down 1 and to the right 2, which puts me here. And I'm going to go ahead and actually put another line through that. Okay, so there's my 2 lines of my rise and my run of the slope of negative 1/2. Okay, so let's try another one. So we have 3/4. So this time it's positive. So from each of our dots, we're going to go up first and then to the right 4. So up 3, puts me right there, and then over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, my new dots here for the black. Draw my line through that. Goodness gracious, I'm terrible with the starting of the line. Okay, and then do the same thing with this gray dot. So we're gonna go up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 4, 1, 2. My graph's not big enough. What am I gonna do? Okay, so in this case, if your graph isn't big enough, you're gonna have to work your numbers backwards. In other words, instead of going up 3 and to the right, we're gonna end up having to go down 3 and to the left. So if your graph is to the point where it's not big enough, you're gonna have to kind of do everything backwards because you're really trying to work backwards from that gray. So instead of going up 3, I'm gonna go down 3, 1, 2, 3. And then instead of going to the right, I have to do the opposite. So I have to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now my dot is right here. And then I should be able to go ahead and draw my line through this. And it makes those two lines parallel to each other. Okay, so for your homework, you're gonna go ahead and finish out graphing of that next, I think there's just one more left, or 2 more, there's a few more. You're gonna go ahead and graph those out in your book, and then you can check back with me and make sure that you got them correct. So good luck with this one, you guys.